okay. It's fine. Everything you do from now is okay. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us from across the globe. It's a bit of unusual for me to be on the host. I'll be taking charge. Everything you do from now is okay. That was a bit of technical difficulties. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us across the globe. My name is Dawood, and today I'll be your host in place of Sami. I'll be having a chat with Menaka here, but let's have some short break and then come back.
Hey, my name's Akansha Malik, and I'm from Melbourne.
Excellent Sami, it's Val here.
Hi, I'm Alan Smith.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hey, I'm Kath. I come from Spain.
I'm Prasant from California.
大家好，我是卢建辉。
I'm Nederland.
I'm Fakasi from Australia.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Marsman from the United States.
Hi, I'm Akita Gupta from India.
Hi, I'm Matthew Renton from the USA.
I'm Joseph Isaac from California. Hi, Midi Eddie Daoud from Ghana.
Hi, I'm Ana Famana.
Merhaba, ben Türkiye'den Daron Yönder.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. That was amazing. A short break indeed. Hi, Menaka. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, David. How are you doing?
Amazing. I'm doing great. And today, I think we will be having a fun chat, learning across the globe. A lot of people across the globe are watching you right now. And then your topic sounds very interesting. What exactly are you going to be talking about?
Actually, I'm going to talk about Azure AI for .NET Core developers. We have gone through a lot of things in .NET platform, how to implement the service, either it's a REST API or based on client libraries. We've been gone through a lot of stuff, but if it comes to .NET Core, we have something new to discuss. So that's what I want to share, those things in today's live.
Awesome. Yeah, but before we actually get started on that, I actually realized you are an MSP, a Microsoft Student Partner.
Yeah, I'm a Microsoft.
Yeah, that should be quite welcoming for many MSPs across the globe who would be watching. And I think we have that in common because I am an MSP as well. Currently, I'm an MSP. When did you join the Microsoft Student Partner program, and what was it about? For folks that don't know about the program.
Actually, Microsoft Student Partner, it's not based on a country or region. It's across all over the world. When I've been selected as Microsoft Student Partner at 2016, it's a great moment where what I am now is because of what I've been there. Basically, I'm not a computer science student or IT student who been used to do coding. I'm from electronic department, which I'm far away from coding. MSP is a great platform for every college student to equip their knowledge in all the things in either Microsoft technologies or non-Microsoft technology, whatever it is. That's a great thing.
Amazing. So like we are student ambassadors on various campuses promoting technology. I guess that's all. Currently, what do you do? I think you said you said a minute ago that because you were an MSP, that is why you landed here. What do you do currently?
Currently, I'm an associate software engineer. I'm working on Accenture Digital, where I'm working in stuff related to AI, chatbots, and something as a .NET developer in higher standards.
Amazing. And you leverage your skills on Azure very much, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that's one good benefit of being an MSP. You end up in your company and then you are promoting Azure and everything. I mean, all the awesome stuff. So I know folks cannot wait to see you get started on talking about how .NET developers can leverage AI, I guess. So I'm just going to pull up your screen and I'll share it so that you'll be good to go. Cool, right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so everyone, from wherever you are joining us from, put it in the chat, say hi to all of us, and then also retweet about this talk on the Global AI Twitter channel and my channel, Dawood Idris. My name is on the screen, and Menaka as well, so that people would get to benefit from the knowledge that Menaka is about to share. Okay, so I'm just going to pull up your screen so that you'll be good to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Able to.
Yeah, so you can take it away from here and then have fun. We are all willing to learn from you.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, you can share your slide and everything. Awesome. Cool.
So,
all right, so I would give you the way by exiting myself.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Like
have fun.
Today, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And today the title is like Azure AI for .NET Core developers. Why I kept the title as like for .NET Core developers? Why not for .NET Framework developers? I'm working in .NET Core, so I prefer to implement all AI technologies in .NET Core because there are a lot of difference between .NET Framework and .NET Core. But the main title to discuss is it's not about core or framework or whatever the language and infrastructure we are using. How we are going to implement our AI service, what all are the service that are available, and what all are the previews now in recent days we are getting. Because nowadays form recognizer and lot of previews like detectors, lot of AI previews Microsoft launched before build and in recent months. So my main content is like to deliver about complete concept of AI. As a .NET Core developer, I want to add it additionally how I can implement, because if we are working in .NET Framework, we have web configure file and where I can store all my details of configuration. If I'm coming to .NET Core, it's not possible. I'm having app setting.json. So like that, where I can use my code, how I can privilege my development in .NET Core with AI technology. And overall, today we are going to discuss a complete wrap up of Azure AI. That's I'm going to do. This is about me, as before Dawood introduced me. Other than that, I'm a C# Corner MVP and I'm an Azure and .NET certified professional. I'm a tech blogger. I written more than 50 articles in my blog site, and I'm an international speaker where I am doing talks and delivering sessions in different regions and areas. And these are my platform. How for any doubts you can contact me through. And as a professional, I'm a software engineer, associate software engineer at Accenture Digital. This is all about me, and this is what we are going to discuss as per agenda. What is AI? Why Azure for AI? What is Azure Cognitive Service? What we are going to do with especially a certain service that is being launched now, like its preview is available now, and how we are going to integrate our .NET Core application with our Azure Face Client. You can ask me why you are going with Face Client. Lot of APIs are available. You can use other examples. Why privilege this title? Why I choose this title is like this is a preview. You can in this area I want to make depth concept after EF core being launched, like entity framework is launched. Lot of developers feel comfort to work in EF rather than their old approach, because either it's a code first approach or a database first approach. People like to work on EF. Same like that, compared to REST APIs, now already available AI service have getting that client libraries. So as like EF, we are finding very easy way to work and implement AI service in our client libraries. So that's the great thing. That's why I want to take a certain release that been launched now to discuss in depth about that Face Client. So what is AI? If you go with AI, everyone know about AI. It's like artificial intelligence, and I don't want to stress this topic more. But before going into in-depth concepts of AI, why AI is reaching its heights? What is speciality in AI? We are seeing lot of things today. Demand in market also. What makes this AI as a demand? So like it's a human intelligence process. What a human does and what human can do more than his power, all can be done by means of AI. It is like intelligence and natural intelligence that can be displayed by both human as well as animals. It is learned to respond to certain action, so it uses algorithm and historical data and start making prediction. In this last point, I'm describing something in depth about machine learning, because if I am using the face client library, I am already having the pre-built or already having the pre-structured data where I am using as an API, so I can use as a API in my existing and my new application. So existing API I'm using in my application where I don't need to train any models, or where I don't need to trace things in monthly basis or daily basis. So if you want to do or train the model and you need to record the models and you need to get the data extracted from that, there comes the machine learning. So from my experience, AI with ML is a great platform that each and everyone wish to do and wish to learn. So here I want to add something more. What is AI? What is ML? I'm a new to AI platform. I'm getting confused of people. Someone saying like machine learning engineers. Some people saying I'm an AI engineer. What makes AI and ML difference? I want to know. ML is completely different. Like we are training our models, we are collecting the data based on the prediction of data over month or years. We are creating an APIs or something. So where the base is started is from ML, machine learning. Azure have separate studio for machine learning, as well as now we as a .NET developer we are getting ML.NET. So where we can able to train our model and we can able to predict the data, whatever we can do, like a prediction analysis, everything. This AI is already a pre-trained model that we already been created by using the machine learning algorithm, where we are implementing those models or existing APIs in our application for a cause. So that's what the difference makes between ML and AI. So machine learning is like a training of models, or we are creating a new thing from the scratch, and what we are using today for implementing any face recognition or form recognition or speech recognition from existing source is based on AI. And second thing, why Azure for AI? A lot of service provider, cloud service provider are there. Why particularly need Azure? Is it anything different for Azure compared to other things? Like if we having Azure, we've been working as a .NET and we are having working in Azure, and what comes from Azure AI? Like we have a proven, secure and responsible AI capabilities on terms with Azure AI. That means I having a complete capability of implementing my AI solution with a secure and proven output. That's what makes Azure to make it worth of doing a combination with AI. And second thing to go is a build mission critical solution that can perform below. Yeah, I have something more. I want to record attendance of a particular student. I want to track the student either by scanning their faces or by a text analytics. Like I'm asking them to write something on the digital board. I want to recognize. So this kind of build mission have the critical solution. So choosing a cloud service provider for our business need is very, very important in those kind of activity. So whether it is a complement speech or any prediction or imitate over the intelligent like voices or analyzing the images, everything want a secure environment to create a build mission, and for the business end also as well as the support end also. So that's what makes Azure a good cloud service provider in artificial intelligence as well as machine learning platform. Other than that, Azure also plays an important role in like implementing AI in business need without any critical solution. In those kind of logics will comes under the business need where there is no secured environment is needed. So either you want a secured environment with a very good solution, you can use Azure, and for a non-secured environment for a just analysis of something also you can use. And as usual, everyone knows Azure is for pay as you go service. Whatever you are using, either it is bulk data based on VM, based on CPU, based on node count, we are going to pay. So that's all. That's what makes Azure for AI. And second thing, industry leading Azure security. This is like an important thing. Like the revenue of AI is around USD 1 billion annually. So you can understand how much the utilization of Azure AI in normal business ends, because it's have around 3,500 security experts with more compliance certification. Here I want to stress something. Data production, when you are doing data analytics, data maintenance, data production plays an important role. Without data production or any warehouse settings, we cannot make a major things in our or implementing the AI in our application. So when we are having an industry leading security, Azure plays an important role, and that's what it makes the revenue this much where people can't think. And other than that, security experts is something related to whatever we are doing, either it's an AI or a VM or any storage like Cosmo DB in Azure. We need a data security that our things being secured or not. So there is this, around like 3,500 security experts along with the certification. I need to meet certain compliance to implement the solution to my application. I need certain compliance certification. So that makes the Azure AI like good to use for business needs. So this is like what is Azure Cognitive Service. As AI developers, everyone being gone through cognitive service. Either we are working in bot service or any APIs like speech, vision, whatever it is. We are being gone through cognitive service. It's not only I will show everything what around covers in a cognitive service separately on the Azure portal. Now for a slide, I'm just telling like it brings AI within reach of every developer. Like I am a developer who writes my code on C#. I have no knowledge about machine learning. I have no knowledge about how to build a model, how to train a model. I have no knowledge, but I can use all the existing APIs, AI APIs, to implement a solution in my particular project that will give the automation as the output. So I don't need any expertise in machine learning. I don't need any pre-built language to know to implement. What language I'm using for my development, I can implement that. So other than that, it brings up every developer to under construction. So just an API call to embed the ability, either it is a speech, vision, search, understand, or now it comes for a form also, form recognizer also using. So everything, the last point is like decision making. Where comes this decision making involves in cognitive service? Like we are understanding like I can do speech analysis, I can do text analysis, I can do other analysis like form recognizer or computer vision. Where comes this decision making? Decision making is something related to neural networks. So we can implement that also by means of AI. That's cognitive service. What is Azure Cognitive Service? So instead of showing in a slide as like decision making, language, speech, vision, and web search, I can show in Azure portal a complete crisp of what actually it is and how actually I can work in this. So if I'm thinking for decision making, you can see those all things have been related something back to humans other than this web search. I think all these things, because like decision making is something related to my mind where I can think, I can able to analyze what's going on, something. Language, if I'm from some part of India, I'm moving to some part, I need to understand the language. So it's related to human. Speech, like I'm speaking something and my machine need to understand what I'm speaking, that's speech. And vision, it's a computer vision. It's similar to face recognition or something. And lost thing, web search. Web search is completely like a Bing or Cortana, what we are using nowadays. So I can implement those all the things in my application. It's as I said in previous slide, it's like embedding an API. I can implement this much AI cognitive service in my application. Then think, if I'm implementing this much things in my business application, what kind of output I will get? Just imagine I'm having a machine to record my attendance, where I need to collect that attendance again to my system. I need to enter that in my Excel. This is like quite complicated. For that, simply I can use my webcam, where I can record the face of the person, which I already trained a model, and I kept the hundreds of faces of the same person in my storage, either a blob or somewhere. I'm comparing the present person who actually entering the attendance with the one who been already stored in my database. I just comparing that, and I'm working that he is present. So the backend activity is also easier. The human loads also get very easier. I'm having a website, a beautifully developed website that is in some other language. I just want those things to be in my local language. I'm just using a speech analyst, a text analytics. So I can just use the text analytics to compare the languages and convert that languages to what language exactly I want. And then I have something like I have hundreds of people in a face. I want to recognize one face. I want to note either it's something of for my business need or my project requirement or something. I can use a vision or face API, so I can extract the particular face, and I can compare the particular face with the existing face, and I can note who he is, what it is related to face stuffs. That's what this AI as a cognitive service make a main impact in all the business application, either in a commercial side as well as in a business side. So, and today this is what we are going to explore completely, because as I said you before, if a topic comes to AI Azure cognitive service, lot of things there, like I can have a text analytics, I can have a vision, as well as I can have another analytics like as we seen before, like speech, lot of things. If you want to go through, the steps are same, every steps are same, but how we are using that different, that will differ from each thing. For something for everything, authentication is needed, because we need to authenticate our actual account as well as our key. Other than that, how we are utilizing what's the business requirements, that makes these things somewhat differ. So today we are discussing about Azure Face API, that's its vision API. What it is actually in Azure Face API. I'm not going to discuss today about the REST API, which is already existing. I need to call the API, I need to train something, I need to add some features. I didn't work in the REST API. I'm going to explain today about a client library, that's a preview that we launched. If we are using a VS 2019, we can have the pre-release features of Face Client Library. As I said before, what makes the EF a big reach compared to the traditional approach of writing the code and connecting the database. Once entity framework comes, I never seen people who've been using the traditional approach either in a framework or in a .NET Core. The same thing for Face Client Library also. Auto pre-build classes, there are methods, so my lines of code get reduced. So that's what I want to make sense of today. So what is actually this face API means, how I can use this? This recognize the face according to the diverse attributes. I'm having my face in a good mode, and I'm having my face in bad mode, and I'm having in my face in some other mode. I cannot predict what exactly my face is, because seeing someone is different for the machine to understand what the person exactly is in mode. So it recognizes the faces based on moods. And second thing is face recognition is using, we are implementing the face recognition, not only face recognition, all other AI criteria by a single API call. Because as I said before, we are AI engineers, we are just using the APIs, which is already trained models. So what about the security? We are using an API which has already been pre-built. What about the security? It's an enterprise grade security and privacy applied to both your data as well as to your trained models, and you are training any models. Because if I am having, as we go before, like we having attendance system, I want to use my API of face recognition to record the faces and compare that with my previous. I'm doing some alteration in my API, and like I'm adding the person faces in different views by creating a person class, something. How much security? Because already pre-built API is it's okay. If I'm adding some few futures or altering something, my personal data. How about my data? Because data breach is main concern of everything. So we should not breach the data. So if you go with this, it is completely rely on enterprise grade security. It's a standard form where every application need to do as a compliance. So we can use that, and we don't need to build. As I told before, don't need to predict the data, and we need to calculate the data. And based on the calculating data, we are not going to create any model. We are not going to train any model. We are just using the existing API simply on our application where the output is enormous. And as I discussed before, pay only for what we use. There are no upfront costs with Face, because I'm having something like VM. I'm paying for VM based on my node count, or based on my how much VM I'm using, or based on the node, or something that depends on VM like CPU, storage, like that. If it comes to Face, for what basis I'm paying, it depends on your number of transactions. Some cases it depends on like how much time I'm doing recognition, and how much time I want to rely on my service, something. If I'm having like attendance system, I'm using my backup data, so data storage will also be considered. So this is what actually Azure Face API be. What we can do with Azure Face API Vision? As I told before, like I have a bunch of people in a single photo. I can't able to recognize certain person. So I need to have some idea about that person. How? So I can do that by detecting the faces in images. In a single image, I can detect how many people are there. So individual faces will get an individual ID. So along with the individual ID, I have the detection model. Either I want to extract the entire information, or I want to get only about information of the faces. So depending upon the recognition model, I can detect the faces and attributes in face. This is a simple example I want to say. If you are having a mobile phone, I'm going to take a single pic of my face. It shows me like a Menaka or something like female 23, age is 23, and something like someone with 70 years who with with white hairs is taking photo. It detect like some male with 70 age or something. So based on that, it is deducting our attributes of it's a male or female depending upon our hair color and face strings. It is deducting our complete personality based on this API. And I have my twin sister. I want to detect me with my twin sister. How I can detect? I can compare by using similar faces. That kind of things also been possible. I can have a picture of me and along another picture of me where I want to compare my faces with different styles or different things, and I can recognize either the picture on both end, is it me or not me. Here in this case, it will gives me the values. It will not print you like, yeah, this both faces are similar. If you want based on business requirement, we can do that also. But actually what it will do is the consistency of two faces, how much it is met. It's around one. In further discussion we can see, and verify the face with another face. I'm having what I told before, like I'm having already a database, and I want to track the people based on the exist or not. I can simply just do my webcam, I can record my image, and I can compare my image with the existing photo in my database. So this is what exactly the verifying the face means. And person identification. This is like I have a group of photo. I want to particularly identify someone. It's my 100 people in the photo. I can do that. And the exact thing is like image will not be saved. It will be automatically deleted after processing. So once you are doing the process, I don't have anything like something to store my data. Like if I want to compare something, I need to store my data individually. So what I am doing presently, I don't want to store somewhere within the API. That's very good. And one more thing I want to discuss here is many people where I took this session like Face API, they will ask me like morphing is possible by this API. API have that kind like we can do like face morphing by doing my face with my sister face or something. That kind of users are not available in Face API. What I discussed like a deduction, prediction, verification, finding the similar faces, these kind of things only now Azure Face API has. Other than that, I have it don't have other features like facing face of someone and someone. Those kind of features are not available. So what are the business requirement and for good health, those kind of responsibilities and things being the Face API as a computer vision carries on forward. So like now we are going to create a Face API in Azure, and we are going to integrate the client library in .NET Core. Face API as a REST API, working with REST API is already something like we already gone through, because this cognitive service has been arrived long before. So the preview or pre-release what been came at moment like a Face client library, and we are going to completely discuss about this thing. So before going to my thing, I will let's go to where
Yeah,
Azure.
yeah, it's been fun so far. A lot of
Sorry,
people are
my
enjoying what you
issue
are.
is right.
A lot of people are
Yeah.
enjoying what you are teaching. I think there was a question in the
Okay.
chat. That was from Shashi. So Shashi
Okay.
wanted to know. Let me see.
Okay.
So do we
Okay.
have spoken language recognition services? Um, that's his question to you.
What exactly the question is? Can you repeat, please?
Do we have spoken language recognition services? That's what he wanted to know.
Spoken language recognition is like not like the language I am speaking it is recognizing, but I can able to use my voice recognition for that. Like what I am speaking, it will give the language, exact language like English or Spanish, either in a text
Yeah.
format or as in a speech format. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm thinking along the line that maybe given a test analytics, it can identify the kind of language you are speaking. Sometimes it can tell you it's French and
Yeah.
English or something. So I think if that
Yeah.
answers your question, Shashi, let us know. Thank you so much. Take it away.
Yeah, that's fine. Like everything will scratches from Azure portal. Like whatever the service, everything I want to begin from my Azure portal. Like I'm going for a cognitive service. Like I have a separate portal which will relaunch to my next browser, or I can use directly from here. Uh, So for a demo, I already created a service. This is like a base step, like we need to create a service to utilize the key and its endpoint. So I already created some service here. Uh, this is what today we are going to discuss, like Face Client Library. This pre-release been available now also in Visual Studio. We can go either with Python or Go language, that's Google language, or as a scripting language, we can go with Python also. So this is similar to we are using in a REST APIs also, but as I said before, people prefers to use EF core than existing traditional method. That's what makes it different. So this is a separate portal where you can find the AI things, like you can see AI is not completely only for a cognitive service something. These all things covers under AI. So I'm having anomaly detector, as your cognitive search, and machine learning, and Bing, all the things related to Bing and bot service. So depending upon the things what I want to use, I want to create a service, either it is a text analytics or speech analytics, or what kind of things I want to create. I want to use the service. Bot service is something, it is also comes under AI, but I have separate it has separate knowledge about where it have the Louis language understanding service and Q&A maker. So bot is also comes under AI. And other things like we can explore in this portal is like data science VM that combining with the data science future, and ink recognizer. This is something related to form recognizer, like we are having the existing form. For example, think like we are having an invoice where we need to extract the data of invoice. We can use this form recognizer. This the going depth of this form recognizer. I want to understand the signature, in which ink it is signed, or what handwriting. If I have the invoice that is have been at 60 years before, I cannot understand how many signs there, what ink they use, either they use any malfunctions or something. So ink recognizer came as a preview. So along with the form recognition, I can identify the ink recognition, what exactly the content and what the handwriting, any malpractice being done. So other than that, Kinet and HoloLens are something that is also interesting topic that to be covered in AI. And I told about this Q&A maker. Like Q&A maker is like a pre-built model. I just need to upload my question and answer, and I can choose my bot either friendly or professionally. So my bot will reply me without writing a single line of code. I can extract a complete list of questions for the PDF for what I'm uploading. So other than that, speech to text and text analytics, this is what I told you, like what language the text is being entered, I can do. Same for the speech analytics also. We can identify translators and text to speech. That's quite interesting. Like text to speech is like I'm writing something and something, its text is getting forwarded as a speech. And video indexer, speaker recognition, and see, look how beautiful this is. Like what are the things we are using, and we're spending lot of time, everything being built in a single view. I'm feeling good to see this. So this is an additional knowledge that if you want to explore, you can explore this much things in AI. And something like analytics based, I'm going for a machine learning, so I need a prediction. Data analytics is a mandatory, because machine learning requires the data analytics skill as a main skill. So I can go with a data lake or data break or synapses analytics, so I can match my insights. So other than that, Power BI also there, HD Insights, that is like a similar like to I have like Hadoop environment or some other HBase or server environment. I can do those things. Log analytics, like I can collect my virtual machine logs or any machine logs by using log analytics. So see, this is like a quite interesting portal to explore. It's not only contain AI in machine learning, it can explore a lot of things here. So today we are doing what we are discussing is like my face detection. So this is how the API works. This is how exactly the API works. Like I can detect my face, I can verify, and I can preview the emotions. So in down, we have two recognition detection model, that what inside the code we will call it as a recognition model. So either I want to detect face or I want to extract some information. So depending on your business requirement, you can use those things. So if I'm going with a deduction and I am giving summing, This is I can able to do either from my image URL or I can browse from my local. So if you see here, I'm getting a 3 faces with face ID as a primary. That's a unique. So these face IDs plays an important role for comparing the faces in other next coming. The deduction ID plays an important role. So I can use this ID to compare with my next face if I want to find the similar things. So deduction 2 gives these things. If we go for deduction 1, see, I'm getting the each and individual features of my things along with the photos what I uploaded. So the first one is like a male with age around, and second thing is like a exposure levels. See, it is giving a individual part about the individual organ like eye, mouth, and my eyebrows, everything in detail. So this deduction model will be used as a recognition model. Either want to deduct faces to get an ID, you can go with the deduction 2, or I want a detailed description. I want to, for example, I'm creating a camera app. I want to show the person detail. Can go with the deduction 1. And after this is like a face deduction. Same thing for face verification. This is like finding similar images. I can find the similar images. As I said before, it gives me the ratio of how similar both faces are. So confidence is like 0.9. So for 1, 0.5 and above is considered as a similar. 0.91 is the exact similar faces. You can try this API with giving some other 2 different faces and you can do. So this is like a perceived emotion recognition. As I told you before, I can able to find out the mood of the persons who been there in my photo. So I can detect the 4 faces. I can see the anticipation or how much the exposure of the face. Like he is a happy. See, the first face is having the happiness as 1. So I can say the confidence level as 1. So happiness is considered. And the second phase is also having the happiness as 1. So based on this, I can use those things. So this is quite good to be requirement need. We need to implement the solution. So I just created a sample using a face client library. In my code, I just worked in a. So what exactly my code is doing, you can see, I'm just comparing, I'm just deducting faces, how much faces, and I'm just printing the similar faces. If you go with the traditional API approach, I need to write a lot of code for consuming my API, and then I need to extract the face detail. I need to write a separate method and separate thing. By face client library, it's an existing library, so I don't need to write that much code. I just want to choose. This recognition model is what exactly I told you that. This recognition model is like a deduction model. You need to choose either it's a 1 or 2. So for simply deduction, I can go with recognition 2. For extracting the detail, I need to go with recognition 1. As I told before, everything need to be authenticated. So I want to authenticate my thing before I am going to find the similar faces. If I'm going to find the similar faces, on what basis I'm going to find the similar faces? Either I'm going to find the similar faces based on the deducted model. So already I have one face ID. I'm going to compare my face ID with another one. So before doing the find similar, we need to perform the deduction method. So that deduction method deducts your face and gives the ID. The ID will be compared with the other ID or either in the list of ID, and it will produce the output. So already I stored some of my images in my blob storage. So I given my blob URL, and this blob URL carries my list of images. If you have some other storage devices, or you as a new you want to explore, you can hard code your URL link. That is not at a problem. You can just explore. And I am having a list of APJ. His Abdul Kalam image, who's a great person in India. So I'm just giving Abdul Kalam image along with the Bill Gates image. I'm just going to compare my input. This is my source file. I'm going to compare my input with this existing model. So as I said before comparing, I need to detect the individual face. I need to get the ID. Based on the ID type, I'm getting the ID values. I'm going to compare my faces. So after getting the IDs of the faces, I'm going to compare my input value of image with the list of the image that been already existing in my blog. So you can ask me, these are the single images. So if I am comparing a single face with the single images, that's quite easy. If I have two faces in the same images, how I can detect? Yeah, that is also possible. Like that's what I told you. Like before finding the similar, we are performing a deduction. So each and individual images will be deducted with how many faces actually in it, and each faces based on the actual faces what image we are giving, it will be compared. So this is how much my code actually it is. If I am using in an API, the same code I am using in an API, I just want to give the hard-coded values, the like endpoint URL key recognition. This will be as an environmental variable. I don't need to worry about where I need to give. Either it's a console or MVC or wherever. I can give in the environmental stuff. But if I am using an API or MVC for an MVC application, I want to use those things in appsetting.json. Since it's a console application, I will not have that. For an API application, the unchangeable values or the constant values need to be given in an appsetting.json, as well as other things remains common. Create a model class. What you are going to bind the value, just give in the model class, and use the method and service, and along with the interface, use the interface and the actual class where you want to implement the face recognition. Based on the either it's an attendance amp, I want to upload the image, I can design my UI. So other than the appsetting.json part and the service with the interface, and this environmental variable will be used everywhere, like even in .NET framework also, everything remains common. The code is also very less. So now we are running this. So I just get a breakpoint. I just created before while, so just check for a breakpoint. So just give continue. Wow, exactly. This is how you can see I have a list of faces. This is what I told. I have this list of faces. First, my API does is it's detecting how much face in it. I have one faces here. At last image, I have two faces. So it gives me two exactly of the API, and this is what I am comparing against. This is my input image, and this is the image in a list. So it's detecting first how much faces, and it's getting the face ID of individual faces. And the exact face I want to detect, it's comparing with the other faces, because I'm comparing APJ Abdul Kalam with APJ. So first image is coinciding, so I'm getting 0.7. Maybe he may laugh at one image, or he may have other face at another image. Second image is having some confidence around 0.65, and third and fourth images also having confidence. But the same APJ Abdul Kalam image, I'm comparing with the Bill Gates and Modi image, it's not working out because these faces are not similar. So the confidence level is very low, but it's not yet printing. This is how we need to deduct. We need to find the similar faces using a face client library. It's a new preview. You can install this by using your Nugget packages. Where you need to choose the include pre-release also feature, so that then only you can able to find the installed features. So now what I'm going to do is, like, you can see the difference. The same image I am having. This is the face I compared with one face. So these faces matches exactly and gives me like 0.7, 0.6 based on the level of coincidence. This is how exactly face client library works. That's all about today's session. This is how we need to implement Azure AI service, cognitive service. So
Oh, that was an amazing session. Everyone in the chat, they are so happy, about your session, and mostly, I think we don't see, such session going on from developers. I mean, taking
okay.
.NET and then showing exactly how people can, put infuse AI into the application. That was really smart thing you did over there. I think
Okay.
one question that was going on, I think it's from Shashi, was that um,
Okay.
is there still, like, his question is still on, if you've ever heard of it, but if you've not heard of it, it's fine. Whether there is a speech, is it language recognition system? For example, as we are speaking, or maybe imagine that someone has a phone call, right, from a client who is calling, and the person
Okay.
speaks a language that you don't understand. Imagine that we have an AI,
Okay.
maybe a service over there that can easily get the kind of language that
Okay.
the person spoke and route it to the right person to answer that particular question. Have you ever seen a service like that before?
Actually, the language recognition is like we are using the Google translators. You understand? That kind of language recognition is possible. Like what exactly the question based on? I think so. It's like it maybe comes in future, or I need to refer some documents. So as of now, like translators are available, and language what exactly they speaking we can able to that too in a clear text or clear speech. This is like I want to refer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking the video indexer and co has really cool, way of identifying the kind of language spoken, the reactions and all those stuff. But I don't have much, answer to this particular. And I think, Shashi, that was actually a great question over there. Catch that. Thank you so
Okay.
much for bringing it up. I guess we all have to dig up and see whether such service exists. And you'll be surprised that it actually exists, just that we don't know about it.
That's
So that
yeah,
was really
yeah,
great.
that's fine.
Is it? Yeah, there isn't any other question in the chat. A lot of people were happy about your session. So that is
Thank you.
what we can say. Yeah, that was a great session.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
Dev. You're really a
yeah.
good host to be. I'm such enjoyed your company.
Yeah, it
Fine,
was really,
great.
it was a great session. It was a great session. So let me check, who do we have next? Next week, I think we have someone. Let me check quickly on our list to see who do we have next week. The same time as you joined us, we'll be having a different person to take you through a really cool thing. That is next week, the same time. If you are in GMT, I'm in my time zone, then we are talking about 3 o'clock p.m. next week.
Okay.
We'll be here with a different speaker. But that was great. A lot of the MSPs would like to get in touch with you and learn more about what you do and all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
next week's session is 16th July, and we have Daron Yundem, who would be taking you through really cool stuff that you should know. Okay, and I think he will be talking about using AI for abnormal behavior detection. I think that's also a great topic. Let me pull it out. Yep. So next week, join us the same time. Thank you so much, Menaka. It was a great session. We learned a lot from you. And we would definitely like to have you back on the global AI community. Yeah, and those of you in the chat, just a last note that. Thank you. Those of you in the chat, just a last note that we actually have. Yeah, just a second. We have a global AI virtual on tour coming up. So we would like to have most of you submit your thoughts. Follow us on social media, the global AI community, and then make sure you submit a talk and join us. Have fun. Yeah. Thank you so much for today's session.
Thank you.
Again.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, my name's Accenture Malik, and I'm from Melbourne.
Excelsior in Belgium.
Hi, I'm Alan Smith.
Hi, I'm Amy.
Hey, Menaka Baskerpillai.
I'm Prasant from California. 大家好，我是卢建辉。Hello, my name is Lance.
I'm Fakasi from Australia.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Marsman from the United States.
Hi, I'm Menaka Baskerpillai from India.
Hi, I'm Matthew Renton from the USA.
I'm Joseph Isaac from California. Hi, Medine Ali Daoud from Ghana.
Hi, I'm Manaka Baskerpillai.
Merhaba, ben Türkiye'den Daron Yönden.
Hi.
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 Yeah, so it was great having you all. Thank you so much, and have a great week ahead. Bye.